All right, so go ahead, get your Bibles out, but I have shorter scriptures tonight, and I won't go on for very long, so I have that working for you. And I guess I'm going to play the role of a grumpy old man here for a little bit, because I'm going to talk about social media and phones and stuff like that, which I can hear the silent groans going on. It's actually something, but bear with me because there's some things to take away from it, and it's not a rant about don't be on them, blah blah blah. First of all, I will say that I work in this industry, so to speak. I'm a marketing professional. I do technology. I have to know and understand all of these things. I have to know what provokes you to be on there. I have to use those psychological triggers to implore you to take actions. That's part of my job. So I understand these things pretty well. And so I've kind of too long of a list here, really, of facts, maybe, figures about that. But stay with me because we'll get to the scriptural part here in a minute. And I will say, too, that the problem is not solely social media is evil or that phones are bad or anything like that. It is more so how you can use it. Like you have fire. Fire can cook your food, but it can burn your house down at the same time. So if you're not careful, you can burn your house down. So we're going to take a look at some of these things and say, how do we not burn our house down with this stuff that we all have access to? And it points to more so media in general, which has been around for way longer than phones have, and news and what people do and what's popular and what's in front of us and what's getting our attention. So it's really speaking to all of those things as well. So I'll just read a few things here from the University of Pennsylvania. This was a first clear and casual evidence linking social media use to depression and loneliness. There's lots of reasons for that. You can probably make your own conclusions there, but they did a study. This is linked, no question about it. Participants who limited, so there was the study where they experimented on people, right? Participants who limited social media to 10 minutes per platform per day showed significant decrease in both depression and loneliness. And so the quote is, using less social media than you normally would leads to significant decreases in both depression and loneliness. These effects are particularly pronounced for folks who were more depressed when they came into the study. So that's probably pretty obvious. Neurological evidence. And I forgot to quote the sources of these ones, but excessive smartphone use produces brain changes similar to substance addiction disorders. We've probably heard something like that before. Heavy smartphone users show measurable deficits in gray matter volume in brain regions responsible for executive function, decision making, and emotional regulation. So looking at the brain and how they do all those little heat maps and showing those stuff, they've seen a deficit in the gray matter, your brain matter, in these areas. Dopamine reward system becomes hijacked, because you're getting it from your phone, by intermittent reinforcement schedule of notifications. Let's see. There's physical impacts of the blue light that comes from screens and stuff that happens with your neck if you're looking down all the time, which can cause all these posture problems and all the rest of that stuff. Nearsightedness from looking at something too close to your face. Lots of physical stuff that can happen. Just a fact here. The average person now spends over 7 hours daily engaged with digital media. That's a full workday. 7 hours. Which just leads me to say, okay, so we don't compare ourselves to what's normal or whatever is normal or average out there. is not necessarily good or healthy or safe. Romans 12, as you may know, in verse 2 says, "Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." We don't measure by the world and say, well, it's normal either. Tech industry leaders have said these kinds of things. Steve Jobs severely limited his own children's access to iPads and iPhones. He came up with the idea, right? Bill Gates did not allow his children to have a cell phone until age 14. That was years back, but that's what he did. Chris Anderson, former Wired editor, so a tech magazine, says, "My kids accuse me and my wife of being fascists and overly concerned about tech. And they say none of their friends have the same rules. That's because we have seen the dangers of technology firsthand." They're editors of this tech magazine. Sean Parker is the former president of Facebook, not the CEO, but a president, says, "The thought process that went into building these applications, Facebook being the first of them, was all about how do we consume as much of your time and conscious attention as possible." That's what they've poured billions and billions of dollars into figuring out. How do we capture as much of your attention and time as possible? Because you're the product. They'll sell your eyes and ears to advertisers. That's the idea. There's some YouTube research, basically impacting mental health as well. And let's see some other miscellaneous stuff here. Most digital information is designed to provoke emotional responses, fear or anger or envy. Same thing with the news, same thing with newspapers and stuff like that too. It's designed to give you an emotional response, and we just need to be aware. Also, constant notifications create a state of chronic hypervigilance, increasing cortisol levels. Cortisol is a stress hormone. So you're getting, someone needs my attention all the time. It's increasing your stress levels. Increased stress levels all of the time cause problems in your body and in your mind. Algorithm-driven content, the stuff that all social medias do now, creates filter bubbles that reinforce negative thought patterns. They know what is going to grab your attention and make you engage and things like that. Okay. So all that's through. Let's go to Matthew 6, if you would. Again, we just have short scriptures here today, and I have a limited time, so we'll just fire through what we can. We're not designed really for all of that. Those things were designed to manipulate our physiology. We are designed for a simpler life. We are designed to know about what's in front of us. We are designed to take care of what's in front of us, not to take care of the problems of the entire world or to even know about them. In Matthew 6, verse 34, it says, "Take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof." And just using that to express the paring down of our propensity to worry about more than we need to. We could worry about tomorrow and the future and the thing and afar off and what will happen. But the Lord's saying you need to dial that back and just worry about today. What are you doing today? How are you going today? There's many scriptures about today and today only. There's the idea of, "Lord, give me this day my daily bread." What do I need for today? Just supply that. I'll be in good shape. The children of Israel had daily manna from heaven. They weren't even allowed to gather up more for the next day. It was this practice. They were being trained. Just worry about now. Just worry about today. Don't be so concerned with everything else that you don't have control over. You don't have to turn to it, but in Psalms 118, verse 24 says, "This is the day which the Lord has made." So this is our perspective on this day. We will rejoice and be glad in it. A quote from some comedian, and I forgot to grab his name, but he said, there's right now there's probably some poor guy sitting by a beautiful waterfall somewhere without a phone, completely unaware of how stressed and angry and scared he's supposed to be. Unaware. And they say ignorance is bliss. We don't want to be totally ignorant of all things, but we just weren't designed to know all that. And our walk in the Lord and the guidance from the Lord tells us, pare it down to something manageable, right? Because I've designed you, and I know what you can handle and what you're not meant to handle. 1 Peter 5 verse 7 says, "Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you." We're not meant to handle all of the problems either, like I was trying to say. When we have our own problems in our own life, that's enough. But even that, the Lord is saying, that's a lot already. And you still can't handle that. And I don't expect you to handle that. And I want you to give those things to me. If it's outside of your life and something you read about and heard about and fear about outside there in the world, of all in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. and all over the place, those are his too. Those are his worries. Those are his issues and his problems to take care of. There's a thought in the scriptures about keeping your eye single and focused, just one eye, focused on the light, focused on the Lord. And it just makes me kind of think of, if you have maybe we have young Michael going into maybe one of his many surgeries, and going into the doctor, and maybe he's awake and something's happening, and you might have a parent or somebody going, hey buddy, look at me, just look at me, and get the father or the doctor or nurse might get your attention. Just focus, don't look down there at them digging around in your knee or whatever they're doing. Just focus on me. We're gonna go get some ice cream later. What kind of ice cream do you like? Just focus in and just let and ignore the things that you can't control. The Lord is wanting us to do that. He's saying, look at me, focus on these good things, and the rest of it will take care of itself, or he'll take care of the rest of it. Just keeping an eye on the time. You can turn to 1 Thessalonians, a bit more to read there while I read another one. It's 1 Thessalonians 4. But in Ecclesiastes it says, "For in much wisdom, much knowledge," is really it. Oh, something happening on screen here. Much knowledge would be probably a better translation there. Is much grief. In much wisdom or knowledge is much grief. And he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. So it's kind of the saying, ignorance is bliss, right? The Lord wants us to be as little children in that regard. He wants to take care of things. He's saying you're not meant to know all of the things. You're meant to have a childlike demeanor and faith and focus on me, your Father, to take care of things for you. And he warns us about these things. And 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 9, but is touching, so he's, it's letter written here, giving them a little kudos and then giving them a little correction. But as touching brotherly love, ye need not that I write unto you, for ye yourselves are taught of God to love one another. And indeed ye do it toward all the brethren which are in Macedonia. But we beseech you, brethren, that ye increase more and more. There's always room to grow. So there's always a teaching moment. So you're doing good, but here's where you can improve. Verse 11, and that ye study to be quiet, and to do your own business, and to work with your own hands, as we commanded you, that ye may walk honestly toward them that are without, and that ye may have lack of nothing. So he's actually talking about people not working and not doing what they're supposed to do to help themselves, provide for them, just kind of being lazy. But he's saying, and do your own business and work with your own hands. It's kind of like mind your own business kind of thing, right? Stop getting, you guys have brotherly love and all this stuff, but study, work towards being more quiet, minding your own business, and doing your own work. Focus on what's here. Focus on what, and serve others and do all that, but focus on what's here. Similarly, in 2 Thessalonians 3, it says, for we hear that there are some which walk among you disorderly, working not at all, so just, not contributing, but are busybodies. Now them that are such, we command and exhort you by Lord Jesus, that with quietness they work and eat their own bread. So again, it is talking about physical work, but there's this idea here of, man, don't we know everybody's business on social media? I mean, everybody's. I don't even know, 14,000 friends or something, and they're there, and it's not even about who you follow anymore, because now we'll just put in front of you what we think is going to get your most attention, whether it's from your friends or not. And then we know what this person's doing and that person's doing, and we know what everybody's thinking all the time. And we just weren't designed for it. And it's not healthy for us. And it's not good for us to dwell on. Let's see, okay. I'll just say one of the Proverbs 26 and verse 17 says, He that passeth by and meddleth with strife belonging not to him is like one that taketh the dog by the ears. So what are they? What's the English mechanism that's it's not a simile or what is that? I don't know. This is like this, right? It's a metaphor or something. If you're passing by, it's saying here, and then you meddle in somebody's business that you have no business meddling in, it doesn't belong to you, it's not your concern. That's like taking a dog by the ears, and I assume they're meaning it's not going to end well for you. It's not a wise idea. It's bringing the attack onto yourself when you don't need that, right? And we can see and read and hear all kinds of things all online anytime we want to. And if we jump in and we meddle in it, we are not taking advice that we're meant to be taking, right? We're taking that rabid dog, I guess, by the ears and bringing that fight to ourselves when it's not wise. It's not the thing that we're supposed to do. Makes me think of the quote, who's heard, not my circus, not my monkeys, that kind of thing. Yeah. And people will be angry, and we heard in testimony in the gifts. People will be angry for all kinds of reasons, justly or unjustly, logically or unlogically, but they will be angry when you profess that it's not your circus and not your monkeys. They will be mad at that too. But again, if you don't say anything, they won't know that, will they? All right. So where do we put our focus? The joy comes from the Lord. Well, I'm going to be turning to I don't know. Some of them are so short, and some of them you know very well. One you know very well, it's a little bit longer, is Matthew 6. Matthew 6 in verse 25. While you're turning there, I'll read some of the others. Nehemiah tells us the joy of the Lord is our strength. If we focus on him, we will be stronger. In Psalm 16, it tells us Thou wilt show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. At thy right hand there are pleasures evermore. So again, just the Lord being the source of this joy, and many, many other scriptures like it. We'll just skip. All right, and if you're in Matthew 6, verse 25, therefore I say unto you, take no thought for your life. This is even for you, let alone other people. What you shall eat, what you shall drink, nor yet for your body what you shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body more than raiment? Behold the fowls of the air, they sow not, neither do they reap or gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? And the whole thing's about just not worrying. He doesn't want you to worry about your own needs and your own affairs, and put worry and concern behind them. He definitely doesn't want you to do it for anything that you can't control. And it goes on to say, therefore take no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof, as we read. In Philippians, it tells us, be careful for nothing, or don't worry about anything. But in everything, by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. And the peace of God, which passes all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. To focus on Him, give troubles and worries and problems to Him, and be that poor guy by the waterfall who doesn't even know how stressed and worried he's supposed to be about anything. For God has not, this is 2 Timothy 1, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So some practical advice. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10, verse 23. Still short, but I think this is a good one. If you don't have it highlighted, I think it's a good one to highlight if you do that kind of thing. I don't always do that. I have two minds. Even when I was in the world, I could never get a tattoo because I was like, I can't commit to marking things that I can't undo. Kind of like that with highlighting in the Bible. I'm like, I should highlight the whole thing. It's just not, how do I pick? But this is one that if you do that kind of thing, you might highlight. And 1 Corinthians 10, verse 23, all things are lawful for me, but all things are not expedient or good for me. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. So it's just asking you to have some wisdom about what's good for you. Not that you're not allowed, not that there's, thou shalt not look at your phone or something. That's not it. It's just, you can, it's not a problem. You're not in trouble. You're not out of fellowship. You're not, necessarily sinning. But you can do that, but why don't you just have a think about what's good for you? And so you can, but should you, kind of thing. Philippians 4, verse 8, I use all the time, so turn there if you like, but this is more practical advice. What do you do then? You focus on the Lord, of course, but he says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, honest, just, pure, lovely, of good report, if there be any virtue, any praise, think on these things. Focus on these things. Fill your mind with these things and your heart with these things. Guard your mind. Guard your mind. In 2 Corinthians 10 it says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God. And then this last part here, bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ. If he's advising and sharing wisdom through the word, he's saying here that, we're all going to think or worry or think something we're not supposed to, or worry when we're not meant to, and all of that. But if you lean into it and you go down that path, it's unwise. We can't help sometimes initial reactions or initial thoughts or anything like that. But the idea here is bring it into captivity. Capture it before it gets out of hand. Cut things off if need to. Hold back. Bring your vision back down to your own sphere. Another piece of practical advice is in Hebrews 10, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so on. So being in fellowship, this is still around the same thought of focusing on good things. Fill your time, fill your mind, fill your energy, fill your conversation with good things, with fellowship, with ironing, sharpening iron, with sharing of testimonies, with all of those things. This is good for you. This is good for you, even in a natural sense. Ephesians 5, verse 15, almost done here. Turn to that one. Maybe you want to highlight that one as well. Ephesians 5, verse 15 and 16. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Again, you don't have to do these things, but think about them. Not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. That statistic about 7 hours on media that has nothing to do with you, really, at all. 7 hours of your day. That's staggering. Redeem the time. Be wise about what you're doing. In 7 hours, there are so many more positive, great things you could do to improve so many things in your life, and benefit in other ways. Don't throw it out the door. Life is a vapor. It's going to be going by real fast. If you're too young to know that, it does happen. You'll turn around and say, what was I even doing? What was I even doing for the past 30 years? I have no idea. And so we need to use it. Redeem the time. And that's it. I will leave that there. So don't